Welcome all to HT Waters Tarot. Today we're going to be doing a pick a card reading regarding what is the next steps on your healing journey. The assumption is that maybe you've gone through some trauma in the past and you're going through a healing materially, either healing, maybe you've been sick, or alternatively spiritually. As you probably already know, if you've been following my channel, I tend to believe spirituality has a lot to do with most issues in general. That said, I'm open to anything when it comes to these readings. So we're going to start off with the first pile here is the Selenite, I believe it's called, Selenite. Selenite stick, and then Smokey Quartz, second pile. Third is the Citrine. And if you know the drill, I think by now, if not, a pick a card is you take a deep breath in, exhale, take a deep breath in, exhale, take a deep breath in, exhale, and go to your heart space and pick which of these piles resonates with you most. And we'll have timestamps below and your reading will follow. Thank you. Welcome pile 1 to your reading. If you picked the selenite stick, this will be your reading. I'll just put that over there, and we will start with the first reading card, which is Community, which is from the Wisdom of the Oracle card deck, Oracle deck. So looking at this particular community, and again, we're going to be discussing and thinking about what's the next step on my healing journey. Belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. This card signals a new affiliation with a group. Humans are social creatures, and we need to know we are useful to our families and communities. In this community, everyone has an important function and feels I matter. Membership in the group provides a sense of belonging, kinship, and a purpose comes from the working together for the greater fulfillment of all. Can be spiritual or artistic. Beware of compromising your integrity in order to belong. How do you dim your light or change yourself so others can accept you in the group? Do you hide who you are really in order to play a role within the larger whole? This will never fulfill you. Now is time to assess your willingness to be real. Stand tall, be you. Authenticity is true self-expression and the only way to empower yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself and step into the role your heart tells you to take. Making yourself small bears too high a cost. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to get some clarifying tarot cards, which I'm going to be using the transparent tarot, which is really cool. I'm new to this, but it's Terry Nicks, who's a tarot reader on YouTube, uses this to do yes and no readings, and I find her readings fun. So I'm going to use them as a way to, what you do is you layer them, and it's super cool. So let's give this a shot. Thank you. Messages for pile 1. What's next on their healing journey? What's next on their healing journey? All right. I'm just going to take from the top. So the first card is the King of Swords. So the King of Swords. Yeah. Next card up is the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so we're just going to overlay Leah, this is how you read these cards, is you start to see a relationship between the one below and the one above. So the King of Swords is all about logic, using logic, and the Nine of Pentacles is about kind of basking in your material goodness, your material parts of the world around you. So what I'm starting to see right now is the King of Pentacles is talking about getting away from what's materially comfortable for you. In order to heal, you need to break free of the community that is potentially holding you back. You have to take a break from them. Again, this is part of that. If you can see this, it's a resting person with swords above them, which is really kind of cutting through the comfort of what came before. But it's not necessarily a complete end. It's just a way of seeing things a bit different. And then there's the Four of Wands, which is a celebratory card and is about community. So what it's saying here is using your logic, using your mind, and staying away, kind of distancing yourself from the comfort, the creature comforts that were brought about by this community. And then you can start to see the community as helpful to you or beneficial to you. So take the good and don't be sucked into, like in a cult-like manner, into whatever drama might be around you. And I heard the word drama very specifically. So within the community itself, there may be things that are happening that are leaving you feeling tired. So it's fine to take a break. Take that space you need. And this is the Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, which is, again, all about community in a sense, giving and taking, but knowing when to give and when to take. Don't make it too one-sided. The community it can be very supportive and beneficial, but don't be tied down by dogma. In actual fact, that's what my book is all about. Don't identify too much with that which is around you in order to break free so you can continue on your own healing journey. So in order to get a deeper view, I'm going to look at some of the Soul Symphony cards, which give you some light. And I'm just going to take the top, Angel Spirit, taking the top for pile one, on what's next in their healing journey. What's next in their healing journey. And I always shuffle 3 times. For me, it's a sacred number. In their healing journey. Okay. Secrets. Yes. Being judged. So part of the community that you're in is potentially making you feel that you can't be your authentic self, which was what we were talking about at the very beginning. So exposing that for yourself and not being in a position where you have to hide everything from your community around you. Finding a more authentic you within the community is fine. I'm not saying you have to break apart from the community unless it's a harmful situation. Yeah, and that comes from self-love, acceptance, self-treatment, intention, self-awareness. Being self-aware of your own situation and how you can become more self-actualized means that you become a better person so you can function in the community in a better way. Okay, so I'm being told to pick one more card. New boo, happy place, seeing someone new love blossom, enjoying love. So in some ways, you might have someone within this community who you're very attracted to, or feel a much more akin to. But in order to get there, you need to break free and be a little bit distant from the community in whole. And the new person, the new boo, will come to you in a sense, and it doesn't have to be within the community. It can be outside of the community, and in fact you might have to leave some of that community ideology behind in order to find a new relationship so you can push yourself to becoming more authentic. Okay, and then I'm just gonna the Green Witch's Oracle deck will be my last deck as far as messages about your healing journey. 1 or 2 cards. I'm being told 2 cards from this deck. 2 cards from this deck. For child number 1 on the next steps on their healing journey. Next step on their healing journey. Next steps on their healing journey. Next steps on their healing journey. And I just take the 2 on the top. And tend, maintenance, encouragement, guidance, reserve, security, forethought, threat. Okay, so whatever you're leaving behind may require you to, with this community, again, I'm not saying you have to completely cut them away, because that's not what I'm seeing here at all. What I'm seeing is that you have to maintain your own personal growth, and in that is preserving through security and forethought and thrift. So you have to maybe take some financial care for yourself so you can break free a little bit. And it could be as simple as taking a trip and traveling a bit on your own to find who you are in order to become a better person for your family, that community, that environment that has certain ideologies that it places on you to be who it believes you should be. This is really telling you to is to seek your own guidance. Go with your gut feeling. Just go to, if I'm supposed to look at it, it'll come. Sometimes I don't need to look at these. Preserve is the one that says security, forethought, thrift, and how you can work and store secure what you have successful. Okay. The Preserve card reminds you that small gestures accumulate over time. Keep an eye out for areas where you can be thrifty. Yeah, and that's not what this is saying, actually. This is what it's saying is small steps. And you'll be pleasantly surprised how those small steps in the change in how you think about the world around you will open a whole new world for you, whether it be a new relationship, love for thyself, and all of this comes from your own authenticity. So don't be afraid to break through those issues, those with your mind, and say, that doesn't quite sound right to me. I don't necessarily believe that anymore. It's like breaking through those groupthink to find your own place. Yeah, it's not showing me the 10 card, which is fine because I don't need to read it. I know what it means. Just tending to yourself. That's what this is. Maintenance, encouragement, guidance, and following your own inner guidance. So I hope that gives you some clarity on what's on your next step on your healing path. Pile 1, please like and subscribe, and also feel free to comment. I haven't said that enough. Thank you. Take care. Hi, pile 2. If you picked this card, this will be your pile. This Smokey Quartz, this will be your pile. Let's get right into your reading. Deep knowing. Yeah, this is a deep knowledge. I'm just going to read from the Wisdom Oracle on your deep knowing. So 43. Intuition, listening to the oracle within, empathy, hypersensitivity. You are in empathy overload and need to get grounded again, so tune out for a bit. Hypersensitive, you are suffering from psychic exhaustion. This signals a time for recharging your batteries. Set energetic boundaries. Take a salt bath. Empty your mind and get back to you. It's not a time to be too open. Soon enough, you can let your guard down. Right now, you need self-care and self-love. It's time to say no thank you to anyone in your life who exhausts you. So this is all about deeply knowing what you need at any given time also. Intuition is the faculty that allows you to enter into a dialogue with Source, the consciousness that you are part of, but cannot see with the naked eye. Yeah, so intuition is important for your healing journey at this time. So the next set of cards I'm going to pull, probably about 5, is from the Transparent Tarot. You can see that. It's really cool. So what it is like plastic cards that overlay each other to send a message. And I'm using a full deck. Sometimes I don't when I'm doing tarot, meaning I divide them between the piles, but this time I'm just using a full deck. So angel spirit guides. Tell pile 2 they need to know what's next on their healing journey. What's next on their healing journey? Pile 2. Next on your healing journey. Pile number 2. And I'm just going to take the cards from the top. Just shuffle them 3 times. Next on your healing journey. Angel spirit guides. Thank you. Our healing journey. Okay, so first we have a King of Swords. It's interesting that came out in the first pile. The King of Pentacles. Which is kind of interesting. They just kind of overlap. Swords and Pentacles together means practical and logic together. Oh, my favorite card. This is Judgment. Yeah, because I like the picture of the Phoenix rising. This is the major arcana, and it means rebirth and enlightenment, spiritual enlightenment. And this is the Queen of Pentacles, a bit of practicality with that spirituality. It's interesting because the swords are going one way, and the Queen is going one other way. And on the top of all of this is a Phoenix rising amongst all the practicality and logic that is coming from these characters. The feminine is a little more passive here. The practical and the logical are more dynamic and forthright, action-oriented. And not that the Queen can't be dynamic, it's just dynamic in a different way. It's more of a nurturing, whereas the King and Kings are much more action. Let's move forward. Let's push things forward in a material sense. So there's a balance there with that. But this said, this is your final card, which is the Page of Swords. Little guy with his sword, sort of slaying the dragon in a sense. So there's a bit of slaying your sacred cows in a sense in order to achieve this enlightenment. That's what I'm seeing. Trying to push away from those material things that don't serve you anymore. And I'm going to get some soul cards are in that. Using your intuition, and you will rise. The Phoenix is a rising. The Judgment is a rising card, which comes from that deep knowledge that you gain. So for group number 2, what is the next steps on this healing journey? Next steps on this healing journey. Healing journey. Next steps on this healing journey. This is, it feels like a pile that might deal a lot with money. Yeah, that's funny. That just came up. Insatiable. Uncontrolled desires must have hunger for pleasure. So yeah, money. I'm getting a strong money sense here. That some of that needs to be cut away at, chipped away at, the reliance on that. And there's a putting on a facade in front of people to please in general. And then a third card I'm being called. Exposure, being judged, hiding truth. Yeah. So there's some secrets here. There's some things that you're hiding from yourself about how much you rely on money and what it means for you. There seems to be a lot of ego that might be attached to it. So you're going to have to release some of that in order to get to that deep knowing, which should be able to allow you to heal from any of those past traumas. Maybe there's some addiction here with ravenous, and that you've been faking it for a long time, and you feel that you're out of depth now and feeling you have to keep things secret. So the secrets might be the fact that you're unable to talk to anyone about your addiction, and you need to get beyond that. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards from the Witch's Green, the Green Witch's Oracle deck. I'm not sure how many. Let me see. Maybe 2. Help. Something we need to know on this. Next steps on their healing journey. Next steps on their healing journey. Steps on their healing journey. Spring, rebuilding, awakening, rebirth. Yeah, that goes to the rebirth. So, which was the Phoenix rising, the Judgment card, butterfly, transformation, joy, beauty, transience. And one more card I've just been told. Pine tree, vitality, longevity, perseverance. Yeah, so this is saying that there's a bit of hard work that needs to go on for the butterfly, for the transformation to occur, for the next step on your healing journey. You need to do some self-care and look for, get back to your vitality and rebuild. It looks like maybe things had to be torn down, or you have to go deep, and maybe you lost some money. And butterflies are commonly associated with beauty and joy. So the Green Witch's Oracle deck, I'm just reading it for it. Are you afraid to make a change? Especially if this change means giving up parts of yourself in the process. Yeah. And so those parts, those addictions, or the addiction to money, the material world, may have to be left behind. And it will take some work, perseverance. It will take some perseverance. But the rebuilding and the awakening and the rebirth will be well worth it. That's the Judgment card, where you are transforming. But that's part of the healing journey, is getting help with any of your past issues with addiction or shopping or anything. Addiction can be so many things. Unable to deal with emotions, and that's part of this using practical manners to cut through that material side of things which have been holding you back, and exposing your secrets and making sure that you make peace with those things that have been holding you back. Putting on a front, and maybe this has been because you haven't been true to yourself. You have this part of you that is ravenous for things, and you keep a facade and keep those secrets in order to function. But in actual fact, you need to look to work beyond those, transform them, cut through them, small steps at a time. You don't need to do it in all big swoops or anything. That's not what I'm hearing, but using your intuition slowly, and those slow steps will get you to where you need to go. Again, transformation is key to all of this, and that's part of your healing journey, is stripping away, persevering, rebuilding that, and transforming within it. So very great, some great cards here for this healing journey that you're on. I hope you found that helpful, pile 2. If you do, please like and subscribe, make some comments if you feel so inclined, and we'll see you in another reading. So, reading number 3, if you chose the raw citrine, this will be your reading. So clean it up. So doing some housekeeping, it looks like it's required. And I'm going to pull some tarot cards from the Transparent Tarot. I've just been showing what this is. And I will read also from the Wisdom Oracle deck in a minute, but I wanted to show you the Transparent because I'm being called to just give clarifying cards for this. But the great thing about this is it's a tarot cards where you overlay them. And they send a message just by the images they create. So Angel Spirit Guides for pile number 3. What's there next on their healing journey? Thank you. Give some guidance on what's next in their healing journey. They're a little hard to shuffle. That's the only problem with them. I also did them wrong there. I did them opposite. But I suppose that's not a bad thing. It stops them from curving in just one direction. And then I'll just switch them around. I already told the angels guides that I'd only be doing these upright in reading. So I can get a clean message. Sometimes reversals are a bit hard, especially with a newer deck that you're not used to. Okay. So this is, this card, the first card is the Ten of Pentacles, which is a very auspicious card. 10 of Pentacles. And the second, which talks about financial wealth and coming to completion with financial wealth. This card is it's a beautiful card. It's a mountain. It's the 9. It looks like the star or the sun. It's the sun. It must be the sun, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me just make sure. No, it's the Hermit. It's funny. It's the Hermit. The 9 is the Hermit from the Major Arcana. And this is 1. This is the Magician. So I don't know if you can see these overlaying, but there's kind of creates an interesting pattern where the Hermit is above. That tends to talk about someone who's going deep in order to figure things out. And then on top of that is the 4 of Pentacles, which kind of talks about keeping things close to your chest because you're trying to figure things out. And the 3 of Pentacles, which is about hard work, getting down to the nitty-gritty. So lots of pentacles here, actually. So that's the 10 of Pentacles, which talks about material wealth and some completion on the material wealth. The 9 which is the Hermit, maybe letting go of material wealth, pulling away from it. And then the 1, which is the Magician. So you're someone who has material things down. You have no problem manifesting material wealth for yourself and things. But maybe there's some time that you'll need to clean things up a bit. And I'll read from this because I think this is going to be important, this message regarding getting to the core of the situation, freedom from a burden, cleaning house, sweeping away which is no longer needed. Okay. Humility is called for now, as grace is an unearned gift. You didn't gain this on your own desires or actions. To be who you need to be, you can no longer do what you did. In a way, you have to hit rock bottom, and what is required now is nothing less than total surrender. Then you will be blessed. I'm not getting that you hit rock bottom or anything, but on this, maybe you've already done that, because again, this is healing journey. But cleaning up, learning how to walk away from that part of the material world that no longer serves you. Sorry about the clattering in the background. I have some beautiful people in my life that always do a lot of work for keeping the household running. So let's look at the Soul Symphony card deck. I'll give you a couple of cards from there. Just give some clarifying on all of this. How about cleaning up things? Cleaning up. Spirit guides. For pile 3, cleaning it up. Now what have we got here? Fire signs. So there may be some fire signs in this energy. Feeling ashamed of something. So regrets and feeling ashamed are something that you need to let go. That's cleaning house. Emotional bond, telepathic love, admiring. So you may have a connection to someone, and that's something I was seeing here with the person kneeling and offering something. So there seems to be something around your material life that requires some distance in order to shave what no longer is helping you. But that said, you have the power to do all of this. Being distant, guilty, feeling ashamed, you have to stop blaming yourself for whatever happened. If individuals admire what you do and how you are, and you need to move beyond that, and they don't accept that, that's on them. That's not, you can't control the actions of other people, right? So the healing journey requires you to not have regrets and understand those who admire you are responsible for their own admiration and feelings they have around that. Even if they may regret that admiration and get angry with you because that's what happened. They put too much into you, or they feel they didn't get reciprocity, but that's not on you. You need to not blame yourself. And they may be a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. So getting a couple cards from the Green Witch's Oracle deck to give the last clarity on this reading. This is kind of the healing journey on this one. Doesn't feel particularly painful, but it's an understanding. There's maturity that needs to come here, and asking others for forgiveness if needed is fine. But again, if they don't accept that, or it's not something you believe you need to do, it's not something you should do, right? Again, you're not responsible for other people's actions. Hedge. Potential boundaries, indistinction. Yeah. So this is what I'm getting this. There's a sense that there needs to be some boundaries around this. You're highly successful. You're someone that works well on your own, and you have some people that admire you, but you have to create some boundaries around that. In order to expand and go for new beginnings means that you're leaving things behind, right? You may even be a songwriter and you have a following. And looking for revival and buds and hedges are boundaries around this. But But you're going to have to look outside yourself for new inspiration, for creativity. And you need to leave the guilt and the shame behind you in order to do that. And don't beg people for their forgiveness. This isn't about that. This is just, if you need to say sorry, say sorry. If you feel you've already done that and they're not accepting of it, you need to move on, because this is what this is saying. It's a time to move on. Leave that behind that is no longer serving you. And that way you can get to new beginnings and expansion. That's part of this healing journey. I see bigger leaps here for you than the other piles. That part of your creative spirit is part of your healing journey. Part of that renewal and revival and progress is part of it. I'm just going to open this and see if any of these cards come forward in the book, the Green Witch's Oracle deck, that I just pulled, to see if something needs to be talked about. And I only just give it a couple minutes. Leaves, there it is. Do you need to pay more attention to your feelings and intuition? Leaves are how plants and trees take in sunlight, and as part of photosynthesis, convert it into food. This process also transforms carbon dioxide into oxygen, a byproduct that further sustains much of non-plant life on Earth. Pay attention to leaves, and you likely will find you are more in touch with the weather, seasonal shifts, and the well-being of your immediate environment. So it's all part of that, getting into the details of what has been hurting you and what has been making you creating indecision. Maybe it's a relationship that no longer serves you. Leaving that behind for new beginnings and expansion. That's, I'm getting a lot of that, but you see, there seems to be a bit of guilt here about some old past feelings of others that may have followed you and admired you, and you have regrets about that because you feel guilty that that happened, and maybe you feel like if you weren't forefront and truthful with them, you need to be now. So reading 3, that's the end of your reading. I hope you found that helpful. Please like and subscribe or leave a comment if you found it helpful. Thank you.